Hello, viewers. I'm Vibhuti Jha. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. Welcome to the show. And please, as always, like, subscribe, and support our channel. Give your feedback, press the bell icon. And, we are here to talk about things that are not always talked about. Today, I wanted to talk about a very specific thing that has happened in the world politics as we know it. Ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, named it X, he gave a voice to the right, or I should say, to the right of center people. Until then, the entire global media was dominated by left, liberal, and all those group of people who decided what we wanted to hear, who decided what we have to hear, and who manipulated the entire algorithm of what news was coming to us. But by taking over Twitter in a significant $44 billion purchase, he shook the world around, starting from America itself. A former Democrat, an immigrant, you know, a, a very, very significant billionaire in this country, he began to, really shake the system, the political system that existed in America. The voice to the right of center was perhaps his biggest contribution, and that was really directly in conflict with the left liberal Marxist Islamist agenda that was dominating the global conversation. The right was stifled. The voice of the right was completely crushed. In the process, what happened was that we began to see a resurgence of a sort that we have never seen before. So look at his other element, that he wanted to bring about Department of Government efficiency, is totally unheard of, because as I have shared with you in the past, the democratic process is not designed to be efficient. And I shared that in a previous conversation with you, in which I said that the government process is designed on a checks and balances system, where the government, where the judiciary, executive, and legislature, they all three make sure that nobody becomes a dominant element of the governance, leading to a regimentation or grabbing power one way or the other. So they all act in checks and balance system, as a result of which it is never designed to be efficient. So talking about bringing about government efficiency, he has really rattled the biggest economy in the world, the biggest political system in the world, where we know, as every American knows now, through the budget battle that happened on continuing resolution, that you know how much waste is going on in the system, and the waste is never good for the system, because somebody is just grabbing those assets and money and doing nothing with it. So we will not dwell upon that. But what has happened is that has brought about a shift in politics as usual, in the world of should be, could be, would be. It has become a world of accountability. Thanks to technology, we know a lot more than we knew before. And as a result of which, people are now beginning to ask questions through the media, through many means of social media, technology driven. People have begun to ask questions of everyone. So whether you are Democrat, Republican, Labour, or Conservative, or Congress Party, or BJP in India, everybody is now looking at accountability, responsibility of the government in a much more serious way. Now, don't think that I'm talking about Elon Musk alone did it. But there are times this responsibility factor begins to play in the government. It happened with both Prime Minister Modi coming in India when he said corruption must end. Whether it has ended entirely or not, but that conversation became the name of the game. It was about accountability and responsibility. When Mr. Trump came to power, he also began to talk about that element. Negotiate better, get a good deal. He never blamed China and others for getting a good deal from America, because they said that the American negotiators were in a bad shape. So he took responsibility for that point of view and began to fix things. So suddenly, politics as usual became a politics of responsibility and accountability. And Elon Musk gave it a big push. Now, one can argue whether he is right or justified in doing so. But as the saying goes, somebody has got to bell the cat. Somebody has to take the first shot at things like that. So look at it this way. In London, for example, now Elon Musk is directly, commenting upon the UK politics, the British politics. And think about it. He shocked Nigel Farage, who was leading the Nationalist Party, by saying that he is not strong enough. Nigel Farage was shocked that Elon Musk made that comment. Elon Musk is directly hitting out at the current British Prime Minister, and he's saying it that he is directly responsible for the real sad and sordid drama of the grooming gangs, which was so sadly suppressed and put cover over. Nobody was willing to talk or daring to comment upon 1400 plus young girls who were raped, who were victims of grooming gangs done by Pakistani people. So much so that even the media was talking about them as South Asian. Nobody dared to talk about them as Pakistanis. Now, the question here is whether it's a Pakistani or XYZ country, it doesn't matter. Why it matters is that it was deliberately suppressed. It was deliberately talked about. Now, everybody is talking about they were Pakistanis. So Elon Musk's direct impact on the global conversation is quite enormous. Whether you like it or not, whether you approve it or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you talk about Argentina, the new president of Argentina made revolutionary changes. I mean, he could do that in Argentina because, it was really shocking the way that country was being run. And, because of the socialist measures, the country had become bankrupt because government was becoming overwhelmingly strong and they were doing whatever they wanted to do in the name of deficit financing, printing of notes, irresponsible, expenses. As the saying goes, everything costs money. Whether you do ABC, it costs money. Remember one thing, even when you collect money from the banks, collect money from the people and put it in the bank, it has cost to the bank because bank is expected to pay an interest rate to the depositors. So if it doesn't make money off those deposits, it is a net drain. That's what is important to understand, that assets and liabilities, balance sheet, these are real. What is an asset is a liability, and liability not treated well, assets not treated well becomes a liability. Think about it from that perspective. And this is a businessman who has done enormous work. Think about it. In Twitter itself, he let go 80% of the people, 80% of the staff, highly technically qualified people. God knows what they were doing. But Twitter, or X as we know it now, has not suffered. On the contrary, it is doing much better. So that is the measure that he's trying to tell, that so much waste has to be removed. Redundancy has to go from the system. So this is the key element. Government accountability versus politics as usual. I think every single individual in democracies particularly will demand higher amount of accountability from the government. That's what is important. Politics as usual cannot continue as ever. And that's what is important about Musk's interference or openly speaking about it. So when he talks about, for example, recently, 158 plus US congressmen from Democratic Party voted against a bill that would have made compulsory for the criminals, rapists to be deported from the country. They voted no. Imagine for a moment, just imagine. We are not going into specific cases, but imagine a thought that a bill that would have allowed the government to deport or extricate or send out rapists, criminals, and thugs from this country was voted no by Democrats to the range of 158 people. And Elon Musk made a tweet a statement in which he said and he tagged it to Ro Khanna by saying, "This is the end." This is what is important. When the budget battle was going on in America, he also told, and the confirmation battle was going on in Trump's appointments, he has openly said that those who will oppose Trump nominees will face a primary. It led to a conversation by Democratic Party that, oh, is Musk the president of the United States? And Trump had to come out and say, he can never be the president because he's not a naturally born citizen. So the point which I'm trying to say is that he has really shaken the system. And that shaking of the system was required. Some people have begun to talk about the fact, where are Desi billionaires, Ambani, Adani, and the rest of the world, why don't they interfere and talk about it? But Indian system is different, right? You know what Narayan Murthy is saying of Infosys is talking about. So I'm not going into that controversy, but I'm talking about Elon Musk as a phenomenon, Elon Musk as an entity. It is important to see whether the swamp will eat him eventually, or whether he will really drain the swamp, or he will be one of the main players, along with Mr. Trump's 2016 statements that we have to drain the swamp. So Trump cannot alone drain the swamp. He needs allies, and he has built allies. So the question is whether we will see an authentic change happen, or will the swamp swallow the change makers. That's the decision. That's the fight which is going on in America, and that's the fight which he has forced it upon the world, starting from United States and to UK now. So people are screaming and talking that he has no right to do that. People are saying that he is influencing in British politics. Well, if he is influencing British politics, is because you allowed him to do that. Because is he talking wrong about the grooming gangs? Is he talking wrong about somebody being a likable politician or willing to be able to do the change? No, that's the freedom every voter has in every country. Elon Musk has a voice, and he has given his voice a strength. How many billionaires are doing that? Think about it. Very few, or actually nobody, perhaps. So with these words, I want to end the conversation today with a call that if truth has to triumph, one has to stand up for it. I think Elon Musk is standing up for it all by himself, in the company of some more brave guys like Vivek and others. So may they succeed, because I believe nobody in the world today likes politics as usual. I think everybody is sick and tired of it. Thank you very much. Take care.